Was it difficult having obviously it worked to your advantage because, as you said, you got an opportunity to go shag fly balls on the backfield on the back diamonds, and you got an opportunity to track the baseball, so you're catching fly balls from major leaguers. But how difficult was it having a father? And the comparison's going to come, whether you or he placed them on you or not. They're going to come.
My dad never put any comparisons. He did, and that's the one thing like that I made sure that I did at my house is I didn't compare anybody's records and what they did or what my dad did and things like that, you know.
But the outside pressure, no, I mean in high school,
no,
I mean
no, because outside pressure, if I'm not putting on, if my parents are not putting any pressure on me, somebody outside my four walls, they can't say nothing about me. You know, if I came home, and that's how I feel. You know, I tell my kids all the time, and they understand it. And pressure is only something you put on yourself because of outside influence. Right. If I'm not putting any pressure on you, you know, then and your mom or your brothers and sisters, then you can feel pressure when we doing that. But other than that, I wouldn't let I'd be over there like this because it's not, you know, we talk about it all the time with, you know, MJ's kids.
Right.
You know, I said, you know, there's going to be the comparisons, you know, they can only compare me and you. You know, my dad and me, Trey and me, Tevin and me, not so much girls, you know, Taryn, she got a pass because it's girls, you know, college basketball, but she's pretty athletic. Okay. Really athletic. So it wasn't really, you know, all they say is that's Ken Griffey Jr.'s daughter, you know, now, but when it comes to being, you know, the testosterone sports, you know, they got to throw comparisons out, which is, it's wrong because if I tell everybody, you know, my name is Joe Smith, nobody would, you know, said anything. Oh, that's Joe Smith. Not okay. Who's Joe Smith? He's the kid. Okay, go watch him play. I mean, there was a kid. There was and funny because when Trey was getting recruited, Northwestern came down and said, well, he went up to Northwestern and he said, coach said, I would offer you, but you need, you should have been 10 pounds heavier. And so I started laughing because he came home and he told me. I was like, all right, no, he just saying that just to blow smoke. And so Trey came home after football because Dr. Phillips was in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, he was helping out with the football team. And coach was like, the same coach was like, man, who was that? How come you didn't send me him? He was like, that's who we tried to send you last year, but you didn't offer him because he needed to be 10 pounds heavier. Right. So, you know, we start laughing because, you know, they say, you know, the mind game of coaches and some of the things that they say are, you know, can destroy some of these kids. Right. And it's tough because, you know, I never caught a football from, you know, from Trey's quarterback. I never handed the ball. I got handed the ball off. It's all that. The only thing that I've done as a dad was get him to a place where, you know, if he wanted to play, to get him the necessary tools to be successful. Right. Whether that's using, you know, Thurman Thomas and Ricky Waters when they were here. I got Devin Hester who lives around the corner. All these guys, you know, they more than well. And when it comes to baseball, the same thing. Lil Thurman calls me all the time. Right. You know, trying to get kids to be, you know, I live my dream. It's now my turn to give back and help these kids live there. But when it comes to my kids, you know, they compare me and I just go, it ain't fair. Because one of the parents was like, what did he say? They were talking, him and a coach, and coach goes, well, how come he doesn't play baseball? And he goes, well, he's not his dad. And so I happened to walk by. I said, well, tell me 5 people who are. And I said, I'll wait. And he couldn't because he was like, because, you know, it's unfair expectations that we put on these kids all the time. And whether it's my kids or any other kid, you know, some of these kids want to play football, basketball, baseball. They want to be out there with their friends. Some know that they may not turn pro and want to do other things. Some kids are like, you know what, I'm just doing this to go to get my degree. Right.
Get a free education. That was the thing for me, Ken, is that I have a son and he went totally away. He didn't play sports because every time he dropped the pass, they said, well, your dad would have caught that, or your uncle would have caught that, and he didn't want that. He just got, and I let my kids have their own life. I really tried to, like, if I showed up, I tried to stay in the back, but they would inevitably find out who I was. And it's like, that's your dad? Well, why aren't you better? And he was just like, you know what, Dad, I don't want to do it. I just want to, go to school, go to college, get a degree, and live my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's bad because some of the people that are doing this are people who are, number one, jealous and frustrated ball players who've never had an opportunity to be successful.
Right.
And the only person they can take it out on is your kid. And I'm like, I look at people like that, like, man, you up there dogging a 12-year-old? And I'm like, and so I do, like, the one thing about me is, like, when my kids play baseball, I'd be down the right field line, 340 feet away, tucked around the corner. And I had a lady come up to me one time. It's like, hey, how come you're not coaching? I said, well, number one, I'm underqualified for this position. Just trying to make it easy. Like, I'm really underqualified for this. And she was like, I just think it's a waste of talent. And then I got mad because I was like, hold on, you just not going to say that. You just not going to do that to me. And I did tell her that her kid was terrible. But it wasn't like I was trying to be mean. It was just like, hey, I'm a normal dad, just want to watch his son play. I'm out here because I know who I am, but I don't want to add to all the pressure of all the parents looking at me, looking at him. I said, he just wants to play and run around and be with his friends. I said, man, that's all this stuff is. I said, are we trying to build national championships at age 12? Or are we trying to get these kids to build confidence to be young adults in this world? So
did it make you nervous when your dad came to watch you play? Because for me, when my brother came, I was going to turn it out. Basketball, I was going to drop 30 or 40. And on track and field, I was going to have my best days. But my sister, I couldn't perform in front of my sister because all of her friends had told her, Libby, you need to go see your brother. Your brother had this many points, dunked on everybody. And the moment I saw airball city, turnover city, I just couldn't perform it. Did it make you nervous performing in front of your dad?
Okay. Yes. Because he wasn't there, all the time. My dad's working on Saturday, So when he did show up, I remember my senior year, Atlanta was in town, and he's playing the Reds, and he was with Atlanta, and he come see me play. The first two at bats, I'm 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So after the game, I get in the car, drive down there to see him. He was like, "Hey, how'd you do?" I said, 3 for 5, 2 home runs and a double. He was like, "You can't do that in front of me." So my first actual hit with him there was in the instruction league, my first professional hit. He was in left center behind the fence in an RV. And I knew the RV because, I it was at my house all my life. So I finally get a hit, and he slides the window up and yells at me, "Was that so bad?" And then closes it. But for years he would say, "Hey man, just pretend I'm your mom." Because when my mom came, it was showtime. Dad show up. I had one of my high school coaches say, "Look, don't even come visit. He can't hit in front of you."
You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button to become an official member of Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before 2 something.